What is going on, guys? My name is Taylor Stuber, and I'm here to break down this Tuesday, December 15th preseason NBA slate on Draftkings Fanduel, and of course, the sponsor of this video, PrizePicks. Another good night for us. It's crazy. These preseason slates have been absolute cake for us outside of that first night, and even tonight. I think a lot of our guys were shooting like 15% from three, and we still ended up cashing. We were pretty close to a couple of takedowns for a couple of us. It is still going on. I believe there's like 4 more minutes left in the Suns game, but a great night overall. I appreciate you guys coming to the live stream. We had 136 concurrent viewers at one point over on Twitch, which, by the way, guys, I do stream an hour before lock every single day. So this slate starts at 6:30 p.m. Central Time, 30 minutes later than usual. So I will be starting to stream at 5:30 p.m. Central Time. A link is up here, and then there's a link in the description down below. And of course, guys, you need to be in that Discord if you want the most up-to-date information throughout the day. Again, I do this full time, so I have my ear to the ground at all times for any of this information coming out throughout the day. I'm gonna bring some of it to you today in this video, but in that Discord I will be answering questions and whatnot. And of course, if you guys want to enter that giveaway for a free $25 via PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, whatever it may be, all you have to do is subscribe, like this video, and then comment below with your favorite play of the day. I select a winner every single Sunday. So best of luck to you guys in that. But let's just jump right into this 3-game preseason NBA slate. So we got 3 games on this slate right here. It's less than usual. It leaves much to be desired, especially with these teams. A lot of these teams, pretty much 5 of these 6 teams have been playing just a plethora of their players. Obviously, we haven't seen the Celtics and the 76ers just yet. But if we look at last year's games in the preseason, they didn't play them all that much. But obviously, the Sixers do have a new coach in Doc Rivers, so that could change some things, but luckily that is the first game of the slate, so it's something we're going to have news on before the games begin. But as of right now, we'll just start with the Boston Celtics, coached by Brad Stevens. We know Kemba Walker, Langford, and Thompson are already ruled out. Tice is questionable, so they could be thin at the front court with their top 2 centers being questionable. That could leave Robert Williams starting, and he averages about a fantasy point per minute throughout his career. So Robert Williams could be a pretty solid play if Tice is ruled out next to Tristan Thompson. We know he's a younger guy. They would like to give him minutes, even though last year we look at some of the games and they didn't give him all that many minutes, but they were much deeper at the time. I think they played 5 centers in their first preseason game last year. It's not going to be the same if Daniel Tice is out. So Robert Williams would be a really good play at 4.7K. There's a lot of plays today that are very questionable. So if you have any confidence in any of these plays, I would feel free to fire them up with confidence. And Brad Stevens said Teague was not even guaranteed to start at the beginning of the year with Kemba Walker out. So we can see guys like Tremont Waters, who I think at this point in their careers, I think Tremont Waters is probably a better player. He is super young, was a rookie last year, only $4,000. I could see him being definitely overlooked on this slate. If he plays 16-18 minutes and on this slate, that's something that you could be interested in at minimum price. On a 3-game slate, he's going to go under-owned. Could be a really good play in GPPs. Go to the other side of the court with the Philadelphia 76ers last year. When they were playing overseas in their first preseason game, Embiid only played 14 minutes, but the other starters played, I think Al Horford actually played like 16-17 minutes, but the other starters played 21 to 22 minutes, the other younger guys. So guys like Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, I fully expect them to play in that 20 to 22 minute range unless we hear otherwise. I think they're decent plays on this slate, but there's some other spend up options I would prefer to get to. And then Joel Embiid at 7.9K. If he's only going to play 14 minutes and some of the games last year he didn't even play in, so that's something we're going to have to monitor. But if his minutes are even monitored at all and limited, backup Dwight Howard, a new addition to this Philadelphia team, could be a absolute stud. We know he averaged over a fantasy point per minute last year when he was not playing next to Anthony Davis. It was just him out there. So He's really active on the boards around the paint. So Dwight Howard at 4.5K could be another one of those super cheap centers that you can get to, like Robert Williams. But for the most part, as of right now, I'm going to be mostly avoiding this game and getting to most of my guys in the next 2 games. Just because this is their first game and I'm unsure of how many minutes they're really even going to play. But again, it's the first game of this slate, so hopefully we get news of how many minutes they're playing, the starting lineup, if anybody's ruled out beforehand. But one thing before I forget, with Prize Picks, we've been absolutely crushing it. And I'm telling you, this is like one of the best advantages you can get in fantasy, because they've been posting, if you play on Prize Picks at all, you pretty much parlay these projections, fantasy point projections that they give these players, and they've had NBA props up on there. You can up to 10x your money. We've done multiple times since the preseason's come. So like when we had RJ Barrett here, the over under was set at 22, but we knew that the New York Knicks were going to play their starters like 30 plus minutes. So I added everybody in the Discord, hey guys, you need to get on top of this play right now. I sent my own personal play in that Discord for completely free. Bunch of us smashed this $25 parlay, turned it into $250 with ease, and we've hit these other two man parlays, turned $25 into $75. We barely missed on this one the other day, and then this one was just absolute money. So the night before, as soon as they dropped, I was all over it, and I told everybody, Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, we knew that they were going to play at least 30 minutes today, the Pelicans were, and their projections were so low at 20.5 and 24. And so I told everybody, I was like, guys, you need to get on this right away. So we got on it. We did a couple of different variations on this one. I added the over on Fred VanVleet. And by the way, guys, when people are placing bets on the overs or unders on these, the lines are going to adjust. So Lonzo Ball ended up ending at like 24, I believe. Brandon Ingram ended at like 27, and we got these at super, super low. So if you guys join that Discord and you guys want to play over here on Prize Picks, I can get you guys a 100% match bonus up to $100. So if you put on $50, use my code Taylor, TAYLOR, link is in the description, you'll double your money. So you already have double your money instantly to play with, and then I'm going to give you my own personal picks if you want to take that advice. But we've been absolutely crushing it. Not to be much of an ad, but I'm really trying to help you guys out with that, because I think it's one of the more exploitable things in fantasy right now. But we'll start with the San Antonio team. We saw them play the other day against the Oklahoma City Thunder. The first game, the starters played about 20 minutes. Or mid 20 minutes rather. Keldon Johnson, Derek White, they're going to be out again. We know Popovich has been pushing LaMarcus Aldridge to get out to the paint, or get out to the 3-point line more, and it showed in that preseason game. He shot 10 threes. That's something he's not really accustomed to hit a couple of them. So that's really good for his fantasy value, obviously, if he's going to be out open on the 3-point line against other bigs. So I do like LaMarcus Aldridge a good bit at 6.1K. I think he continues to, much like the rest of the San Antonio Spurs starters, to play in that mid-20s minutes against fast-paced Houston Rockets team. So I like Aldridge. I like DeJounte Murray. I don't mind DeMar DeRozan, a bit pricey at 7.5K. I think there's better plays in that price range. Patty Mills at 5.2K. I talked about him in that first video when the Spurs were on the slate. He led the team with a 32.4% usage rating. Obviously, there's no Derek White, so that's more security in his minutes. He played 19 minutes, but I think that they might extend it a bit more, and he might get into that 21, 22 minute range. So Patty Mills would be a pretty solid play at 5.2K. Curious to see where his ownership ends up landing. So with the Houston Rockets, we got quite a bit of news with this, or significant news rather. So we saw they've already played 2 games, and we know Wall has been killing it, Cousins have been killing it, but we saw last game, they said that they're going to increase the minutes for the Rockets starters that game, but that only was the case for a couple of them. Eric Gordon and DeMarcus Cousins continue to only play 17 minutes. We'll see if they play any more this game. That's something we're going to have to monitor, as well as James Harden and PJ Tucker are returning. James Harden is only 8.5K. I think he's by far the best play on this slate. We've seen in years past, I know it was with Mike D'Antoni, but he was playing full games when he was out there. So he's fully capable of doing so. Now, he's trying to get traded right now, so you have to wonder how much he's going to try, especially in a preseason game, or if he's just going to go out there and ball out in frustration. But at 8.5K, I'm willing to take a bet on him. I think he's a really good play at 8.5K. I think he's my favorite spend-up option on this entire slate. Christian Wood is going to be out again. And, dude, I cannot believe people fell for this Bruno Caboclo stuff. It's wild because the first game, we know that he came off the bench. He played like 22, 23 minutes, but he shot out of his mind from three. I think he was 5 for 8. He's not that good over the course of his career. People chased it, and he was way too high on. He's like 20%. Don't understand that at all. But I do think that this Houston team's probably going to tighten up the rotation, less players. But overall, I'm not very interested in this team, especially because they raised the prices like James Harden wasn't in the on the team this game. So I'm pretty much out on all of the Rockets outside of James Harden, unless we hear news that DeMarcus Cousins is going to play like in the mid-20s, which I think he would be a really good play in that case. The Golden State Warriors, we've already seen them play one game. I think they slightly increased minutes for starters. I'm reading the wrong notes. Draymond Green and Wiseman are out again, so expect another start from Kevon Looney. They played a ton of players. They pretty much played all the players that they had. The starters played 18 to 22 minutes. Really nobody in the game played over that, so I'm pretty hesitant to play any of the players in this game. But Curry's only 7,300. I mean, he didn't shoot the ball all that much, only shot 10 times last game. But I think at 7,300 against a Sacramento team who I think is going to play mid to high 20s in minutes, Curry could get pretty good run throughout the third quarter. So I do like Steph Curry at 7,300, one of the better spend-up options on the slate. I don't mind guys like Eric Paschall at 5,100, who I talked about before. He did pretty well. Kevon Looney's going to start at 4,700, but they split the center minutes between a ton of guys. It wasn't just Looney and Marquise Chris. So more of a stay-away spot for me. I know a lot of people are probably going to chase Kent Bazemore. I think he's a decent play off the bench, but his usage was just through the roof. It was like above 30%. But I guess that makes sense playing with the backups. So at 4,800, I guess he's not that bad of a play. And we'll move on to the last team of the slate, which is the Sacramento Kings, who I have by far the most confidence in on this team. Outside of the news that Bagley and Whiteside, they have out tags right now, but they are actually questionable. And I think that it's more likely that they end up playing it in this game, which they would become very, very interesting plays. We're going to have to really monitor this, but unfortunately, it's a full 2.5 hours after the lock of the first game. So hopefully we get that news earlier on in the day, but I think we will, because I think it's Bagley coming back from a COVID protocol. So we could get that news pretty early on in the day if he does pass that. But if even one of these guys are out, I want to go back to the well with Rashaan Holmes. I played him both times. He was absolutely smashing last game with both those guys out, but he ended up fouling out in the third quarter, and he would have played probably 6 or 7, 8 more minutes in that fourth quarter. That was the reason why I went from taking like top 10 in the big tourneys in first place. So that was kind of unfortunate, but I'll take the winnings, and I made a lot of money that night, and I know a lot of us did. But the starters have been playing mid-20s in minutes, and I think that they might even increase. We've seen in years past that De'Aaron Fox and Buddy Hield and these guys have played into the 30s minutes, and they're only 7,100, 6,700. I think they're pretty much must-plays on the slate, because just off the sheer volume of minutes and the confidence in those minutes, I absolutely love these guys. Barnes, Bielitsa, Holmes should all receive about the same minutes, assuming Whiteside and Bagley are out. But again, we're going to have to monitor that pretty heavily. And then TJ Halliburton, their rookie, played really well last game. Only played 19 minutes the first game, but the last game he played a whopping 30 minutes, led the team in minutes. So I do like him a bit in GPPs, but I might end up being underweight just because it's going to be hard for him to match the output that he put out last game, and a lot of people are going to be chasing that. And at $5,000, I think there's just better plays for cheaper on this slate, but it's a tricky slate for sure. There's not a lot of good plays. We're going to have to monitor the news pretty heavily, but I'll let you guys know in the Discord what's going on. Also on Twitter, if you want to follow me over there, feel free to DM me, ask me any questions you want. I usually just retweet whatever news I can find. I follow like over 300 beat reporters for these NBA teams, so I'm pretty knowledgeable on when news breaks, and I'll let you guys know my thoughts on it as well. But again, guys, I will be streaming an hour before on Twitch. Make sure to go there. I answer pretty much every single question I can get to for you guys. So would really appreciate if you guys could show up and I can help you guys out the best I possibly can. But good luck on this slate. Hope you guys did well today. Hope you guys do well on this slate. And until next time, peace.